we've seen, or we are seeing both. Hand and ball swift.
Yes.
Is there a difference? And do you prefer any, or is it again knitter's choice?
Really, it's knitter's choice. The cakes that you're going to get off the Swift and Ball Winder are going to stack a little bit nicer. They'll be a little easier to work with. If you are working with a very fuzzy yarn, mohair or angora, for example, you're going to want the Swift and Ball Winder because you're going to get some snarls with the hand wound version, unless you're going to use the Spatine method. And that's going to make, that's because the fibers are going to come loose. It's a flyaway fiber. You don't want that. So you're going to favor a Swift and Ball Winder if you're using that kind of a yarn. If you're using a really tangly sort of a novelty yarn, again, you're going to want the Swift and the Ball Winder method.
Now, should you ball yarn and just cause when you get a skein, or do you ball a yarn, or do you just wait until you use it? I know that's
that is a subject of debate. That is a good question. The majority of knitters will tell you that you store it in a skein because that keeps the amount of stress on the yarn to a minimum, and it will keep your yarn from stretching before you get to use it. There are a lot of knitters, myself included, who have stash obsessions, and it is easier to store yarn if it is balled. So if you find yourself running out of places to store your yarn, you're going to want to ball it first. Fundamentally, though, it is knitter's choice. When you come to the end, you can see how much faster this is. When you come to the end, you do the same thing. You just kind of pick up a strand and hide it. Now you're going to then pull this off the top here and make sure it gets pulled out. That's your center pull. This is also a center pull ball. It looks more like a cake. You just pull the whole thing straight on up, and there you go. This is what you get from a Swift and a Ball Winder. This is what you get from hand. One other thing I want to show you when you're finished looking at this is with the Ball Winder, if you find it's knotted and you need to unknot it, you can normally twist and lift this off so that you can work through to remove any knots, and then lay it back down and twist it to put it back on, back into place. Important thing to remember is to keep your hand in relatively the same position when you're winding it, because if you're moving it up and down, it's going to move funny on the ball winder, and it's going to make sort of a wonky ball of yarn. Okay, this is the project we're going to be working on. It is a simple beaded hat. This little patterning is on both sides, and it's going to use both techniques. I didn't put a lot of beads in because I want to keep it really simple. There are going to be strung beads here and hooked beads over here. I'm also putting up an additional pattern for these mittens. They're going to use the exact same techniques. They'll be a little more complicated because they're mittens. There's all the shaping, there's the picking up for the thumb and all of that. But again, you've got your strung beads down here, you've got your hooked beads up here, and it's the same pattern, and they are designed to be in opposition as to which side it's on, so that it'll be right for your hands. Let's take a look at how we string the beads to start. So let's start by taking a look at how we string the beads. Just spill out a bunch of them, and you're going to get your dental floss threader, which is right here, and you're going to thread your yarn just like you're threading a needle. Now, if you've ever done simple string beading, it's pretty much the same idea from here. You're just going to put the bead onto the yarn. Put the bead onto the yarn. And just keep pushing it down as you go. Put the bead onto the yarn, and I just want you to keep doing this until you have strung 72 beads. I've looked that up, and then I want you to cast on any which way you want to 98 stitches, and then we're going to come back to show you how to place the beads.